Hey there, welcome to Quiz Time. I'm your quiz master, Sean, and I've got 100 questions to test your knowledge of difficult vocabulary. So let's get those brains humming along. Let's have some fun and let's begin. Which of the following means to talk maliciously about someone? Backbite, approbation, or puffery? Which one means to talk maliciously about someone? Backbite. For example, don't backbite someone not here to defend themselves. I beseech you. This means you are asking for love, or does it mean you're asking for forgiveness, or is it asking for something urgently? I beseech you. That means I'm asking for something urgently. Which of the following words means found everywhere? Ubiquitous, scarce, or ballyhoo? Found everywhere. Well, something found everywhere is ubiquitous. The use of tech is ubiquitous in modern times. Which word means a deep crack in the earth or profound difference? Errant, juncture, or chasm? And that would be chasm. The chasm between the ex-friends was palpable. The word trenchant means sharp, perceptive, or fondness, or does it mean creativity? Trenchant. That means sharp or perceptive. He had a trenchant ability to say exactly the right thing. Which of the following words means mysterious, understood by few? Brazen, agape, or arcane? Mysterious and understood by few. Well, that is something that is arcane. Only a few people knew the arcane story of the fraternity. What does the word extricate mean? Fleeing the country, free from constraint, or to examine thoroughly? To extricate. To free from constraint. The survivor was finally extricated from the rubble. Which word means questionable authenticity? Apocryphal, bona fide, or veridical? Questionable authenticity. If something is apocryphal, my grandmother often told apocryphal tales from her childhood. Which word means celebration or festival? Fate, clash, or sodality? Celebration or festival. And that is fate. The 100-year-old received a fate in her honor. What does the word amorphous mean? Always changing, no definite shape, or relating to animals? Amorphous. Amorphous means no definite shape. They had no leader, so the government was basically amorphous. The word gale means a very strong wind, slang for a beautiful woman, or a type of songbird. A gale. A gale is a very strong wind. The boat couldn't withstand the gale. Which of the following words means arrogant? Docile, haughty, or decorous? Arrogant. Arrogant means haughty. The girl's haughty attitude made me not want to hire her. What is another word for embellish? Sybarite, grandiloquent, or aggrandize? Which of those means embellishment? Aggrandize. She cleverly aggrandized her accomplishments on her resume. Which means the process of growth? Bilk, commensurate, or accretion? Which means the process of growth. Accretion. The accretion of the population was steady over the last few years. Leadership or dominance can also be referred to as, is it ebullient, characterized as hegemony, or characterized as staid? Hegemony. The royal family's hegemony was overbearing. The word exceed means you agree to demands, agree to assistance, or agree to pay a debt. Exceed. Exceed means agree to demands. I would not accede to his ridiculous request. An idiosyncrasy is a specific behavior that's odd, a form of speech, or a new creative idea. An idiosyncrasy. That is a specific behavior that's odd. His idiosyncrasies made him stand out. Which means the force or energy to make something happen. Stagnant, impetus, or idleness. Force or energy to make something happen, that would be impetus. The impetus for change has slowed since the election. When something is difficult to understand, you could call it, is it morass? Could you call it winsome? Or could you call it abstruse? If it's difficult to understand, it is abstruse. The abstruse scientific theory puzzled researchers. If someone loves to blether, this means they love to waste time, love to talk at length, or love to insist upon something. If they love to blather, what are they loving to do? Talk at length. She loved to blather about work gossip. The word kalopsia means the state that everything is disastrous, difficult, or beautiful. Kalopsia. That means everything is beautiful. The wedding was pure kalopsia. Which word is used when referring to an external angle of a structure? The coin, the modicum, or the noxious? External angle of a structure would be a QON. The QONs of the building have beautiful accents. A lacuna is it an unfilled space, an oceanic landscape, or an injury to mind or body? A lacuna. And that is an unfilled space. The lacuna in the story's plot was evident. If you describe someone as languid, this means they are. Does it mean they're excitable? Does it mean they're temperamental? Or does that mean they are without enthusiasm? If someone is languid, that means without enthusiasm. The man was languid in his job since he was so close to retirement. Which word means an entire complex structure? Macrocosm, panacea, or semaphore? Entire complex structure. That would be a macrocosm. The macrocosm of life itself is yet to be deciphered. Which word means common or widespread? Tangential, spurious, or omnipresent? Common or widespread? Omnipresent. There is always an omnipresent interest in the supernatural. Which word also means introduction? Kibosh, preamble, or epilogue? Introduction also means preamble. The preamble to the laws was the vision of the new nation. If you criticize someone harshly, were they presaged, upbraided, or vituperated? If someone was criticized, if you criticize someone harshly, you have upbraided them. The boss upbraided the employee for oversleeping and missing the important meeting. Which word means a trace of something that is going extinct? A vestige, a surfeit, or a pellucid? Trace of something that's going extinct. That is a vestige. The vestige of the craft of handwritten letters is kept alive by some. What is something called when it is repeated too often? Is it a pejorative? Is it hackneyed? Or is it fractious if it is repeated too often? If it's repeated too often, it is hackneyed. My father began to say hackneyed old sayings. Which word means unwelcome change in circumstance, contravene, engender, or a vicissitude? Unwelcome change in circumstances. It is a vicissitude. The natural disaster was a vicissitude that no one expected. The word dispel means cause to vanish, to persuade, or to feel ill. Dispel. That means to cause to vanish. After I saw him be rude to the waiter, my feelings for him dispelled. What word means a deliberate violent action? An anathema, wanton, or acumen? Deliberate violent action. That describes something wanton. The child's behavior created wanton violence at school. Which word can be used to describe a cruel dictator? Mores, abject, or a despot? A cruel dictator. Another word for that is a despot. What does the word winsome mean? Charming in a naive way? Subject to success? Winning? Or does that describe something fleeting or short-lived? Winsome. Charming in a naive way. The young lawyer was winsome and didn't realize how crucial the case was. Which sentence is the correct use of enervating? Networking events are an enervating task. Computers were an enervating invention. The most enervating idea won the competition. Which one's the best use? Number 1, enervating means a decline in strength. Which of the following words means marked by skill in deception? Expiate, inure, or wily? Marked by skill in deception. That's the definition of wily. The spy was wily. making his missions successful. Which life milestone might be referred to as convivial? A funeral, an engagement, or a driver's license test? Which one of those might be referred to as convivial? An engagement. Convivial means lively and cheerful, and one would hope an engagement would be one. Which word is used when describing alcohol consumption? Bibulous, didactic, or carp? When describing alcohol consumption, something could be bibulous. The bibulous night was met with a hangover the next day. Which word means inadequate supply or scarcity? Ascetic, candor, or dearth? Inadequate supply or scarcity. And that would be dearth. The dearth of evidence by the prosecution was astounding. Which of the following is used when someone misuses a word when they meant to say another? A malapropism, onomatopoeia, or a simile? They say one word, but they meant another is a malapropism. The malapropism occurred when he said, invited on charges instead of indicted. The word bruit means a savage person, to tell or spread rumors, or the end of a long day. Bruit. Bruit means to tell or spread rumors. The bruited tale turned out to be true. What does it mean to ramify something? To pass laws, to spread or form branches, or to injure? What does it mean to ramify something? It means to spread or form branches. The situation ramified once more people got involved. What is it called when someone is dirty and shabbily clothed? Petrichor, mellifluous, or tatterdemalion? Dirty and shabbily clothed. Tatterdemalion. The tatterdemalion on the street refused any help. If someone has an emphatic response, it was calm, apathetic, or was it expressive? If it was an emphatic response. That means it was expressive. If you are dogmatic, this means you're difficult to understand, or does it mean you're following a set of rules closely, or does it mean you're inclined to fight? If you are dogmatic, following a set of rules closely. His devoted followers were dogmatic. Which word means rude or clumsy in behavior? Unswerving, esoteric, or boorish? Rude or clumsy in behavior means boorish. The teens were all still in boorish behavior. True or false? Evanescent is a word used to describe something that can vanish like vapor. Is that true or is that false? Evanescent. That's true. The kiss felt like an evanescent moment in time. What is another way to say flowery? It's florid, it's jocund, or it's ululate. Flowery. If it's flowery, it's also florid. The florid display was a centerpiece of the event. Which word means doubtful? Inexorable, dubious, or auspicious. If it's doubtful, that also means it is dubious. The word sanguine most closely means optimistic or positive, or sad and melancholy, or mellow and calm. If it is sanguine, it is optimistic and positive. He's sanguine about his upcoming interviews. Part 2. The word sanguine also means getting old, blue, or feeling sad, or blood red color. Sanguine also means blood red color. Which word means beyond what is needed or required? Redolent, juggernaut, or superfluous? Just beyond what is needed or required, it is superfluous. If you lack confidence, you speak with diffidence, sophistry, or viscuous. If you lack confidence. You speak with diffidence. He speaks with diffidence even though he is quite skilled. Which word means making a certain situation or outcome likely or possible? Vexatious, conducive, or unctuous? Making a certain situation or outcome likely or possible. It is conducive. I had to create a home office conducive to a real work office. Which word means move as rippled? Undulate, usurp, or ubiquitous? Move as rippled. That means to undulate. The ocean undulated under the clear blue sky. Duplicity is defined as the art of deceiving, the art of duplicity, or dumbing down information. Duplicity is defined as the art of deceiving. I don't appreciate duplicity in my household. What does the word equanimity mean? Equality, steadiness while under stress, or flattering? Equanimity. That means steadiness while under stress. Which fashion style is pompous? Camp, grunge, or grandiloquent? The fashion style that is pompous is grandiloquent. The king's clothing was quite grandiloquent. A person who attacks beliefs and institutions is called is that a lexicon? Is that a xerophyte? Or is that an iconoclast? Person who attacks beliefs and institutions is an iconoclast. The iconoclast refused to step foot in a church. What is the word for a person devoted to eating or drinking in excess? Is it a gourmand? Is it laconic? Or is it a tismit? Devoted to eating or drinking in excess is gourmand. We can never take the gourmand out for dinner. What word means revealing little emotion? Furtive, stolid, or cogent? Revealing little emotion is something stolid. Her stolid response made me think she didn't care. Valediction is the action of saying, hello, saying you love someone, or saying farewell. A valediction. That is saying farewell. His final valediction before leaving was dramatic. Which word means to make less severe? To palliate, to taciturn, or to gauche? To make less severe is to palliate. The massage palliated my back pain. The word inure means an inferior person, used to something unpleasant, or to get stronger. Inure. That means used to something unpleasant. True or false? The word diaphanous means opaque and unable to see through. Diaphanous. That's false. It means something translucent. The word compunction means a feeling of. Is it a feeling of guilt? Is it a feeling of many emotions, or is it a feeling of joy? Compunction. That is a feeling of guilt. After the argument, I had a feeling of compunction and apologized. Which word most closely means to do away with? Salubrious, bellicose, or abrogate? To do away with means to abrogate. The law was abrogated once a sane leader was voted into office. Demure means modest and shy, but demure also means to create a new style, or to raise doubt, or to show thanks. Demure also means to raise doubt. She demurred before going skydiving. The word overwrought means disturbed from emotion, a scary film, or crime. Overwrought means one is disturbed from emotion. After his death, she was overwrought with emotion. Someone who acts practical might be called a unserviceable, or idealistic, or a pragmatist. Someone who acts practical. That would be a pragmatist. Being a pragmatist helped bring their big plans back down to earth. Which of the following words means to show liveliness? Remonstrate, ebullient, or perfidious? To show liveliness. That would be ebullient. Her personality is always ebullient. Which word most closely means abjure, renounce, inject, or create? To abjure. That means to renounce. When converting religions, he had to abjure all beliefs he grew up learning. A loud noise might be called a feeble, a clamor, or reticent. A loud noise. Well, that might be called a clamor. That clamor woke up the entire apartment building at 3 a.m. If things naturally accompany each other, what might they be called? Concomitant, paragon, or legerdemain? If they naturally accompany each other, they would be concomitant. One might say that peanut butter and jelly are a concomitant pair. If you're calling attention to faults, you might be called captious, or hapless, or fatuous. Calling attention to faults. You might be called captious. My mother was always captious towards me. What is another word for gargantuan? Animalistic, massive, or gesture? Gargantuan. That's something massive. The Great Dane and St. Bernard mixed dog was gargantuan. What is another way to say change completely? Perpetual, unabated, or transmogrify? Another way to say change completely would be to transmogrify. After she studied abroad, her entire personality and lifestyle was transmogrified. A daily occurrence might also be called a welter, zeugma, or quotidian. A daily occurrence. If it's a daily occurrence, it is quotidian. Lunch at the local restaurant became a quotidian event. Solipsism is the quality of being. Is it selfish, selfless, self-centered, or boring, mundane? A solipsism. That is the quality of being self-centered. What is another word for perfidious? Kind, helpful, or deceitful? Perfidious. That is being deceitful. Which word most closely means lacking poetic beauty? Coruscating, prosaic, or scintillating? Lacking poetic beauty. That is something prosaic. The prosaic writing could not convey the importance of the event. Someone who is querulous is habitually, is that someone complaining, someone curious, or in the same exact routine? If the querulous, that means they're complaining. He's been in the same job for 20 years and querulous about every aspect of it. Which word is defined as having good judgment? Sagacity, abstemious, or arduous? Having good judgment. That is sagacity. The PhD had great sagacity when making informed diagnoses. A diatribe is defined as, is it honoring speech, a verbal attack, or adoption of ideals? A diatribe. A diatribe is a verbal attack. The diatribe against him was a little too harsh. An errant fool means they are notoriously foolish, never foolish, or sometimes foolish. An errant fool. That means notoriously foolish. The errant fool once again created a mess at the party. Which word means delay or procrastinate? Debauch, debacle, or dilatory? Delay or procrastinate means dilatory. Before the surprise party, we used dilatory tactics so the honoree was shocked. Which word is closest to invective? Thrilling stories, groundbreaking inventions, or insulting? Invective means insulting. The invective burst out of me. What does the word panache mean? Stylish elegance, clumsiness, or gentility? panache. That means stylish elegance. The young actress had such panache that everyone wanted to hire her. Which word describes a person who indulges in luxury? Thrifty, sybarite, or artifice? Indulges in luxury. That is sybarite. I'm not usually a sybarite, but I indulged while traveling abroad. What does the word regnant mean? Exercise power, harmful and malicious, or the opposite of something? Regnant. That means exercise power. The queen regnant enforced new regulations for her staff. Oniromancy means the interpretation of dreams, languages, or the themes of films. Oniromancy. What does that mean? The interpretation of dreams. What word is used to describe being filled with something? Levity, antithesis, or fraught? If it is filled with something, that means it's fraught. After the kind words, I was fraught with emotion. What does the word cupidity mean? Greed for money, intense love, or style of fine art? Cupidity. That means a greed for money. For example, his cupidity cost him his freedom after being caught wandering. Which of the following words means an unpleasant odor? Obviate, effluvia, or rebuke? An unpleasant odor. That is effluvia. The effluvia was overbearing. Which word is closest to the word conversationalist? Languid, interlocutor, or expiate? Conversationalist. Interlocutor. The interlocutor tried to speak to both parties. If a person is quick to argue, are they fallacious, capricious, or pugnacious? If they're quick to argue. If they are quick to argue, they are pugnacious. The politician was pugnacious with the media. What does the word punctilious mean? Pay attention to detail, very prompt, or not detailed or short? Punctilious. That means paying attention to detail. He was punctilious in professional settings. What is the best way to describe a wayfarer? A surfer? Someone who travels on foot? Or a traditional cowboy? A wayfarer. That's someone who travels on foot. The wayfarer traveled with just a backpack. Which word means the making of poetry? Cacography, poetism, or versification? The making of poetry. And that would be versification. He studied the art of versification as he wrote his vows. And that was question 100. Thanks for playing Quiz Time. Don't forget to drop your score in the comments, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you won't miss Quiz Time when it comes out. Thanks for joining me. Catch you next one.